So, first of all, what is DevFulfilled? If you've ever managed to click release using emails, spreadsheets, team messages, a bit of memory, a to-do list, you'll know how easy it is for things to get missed. DevFulfilled brings that entire process together in one place. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how a release moves from development through review and approvals, ready for deployment. Hello, I'm Richard, and welcome to this short demonstration of DevFulfilled. I'm going to show you the core workflow, creating a project, managing release, version control, using AI-powered review, and requesting approvals before deployment. After signing in, we arrive on the dashboard. This gives you a quick overview of everything that's happening across your project. We can see any release and any approval that needs your attention. So rather than searching through multiple systems, everything is brought together in one place. This is a great starting point for a team to discuss what's currently in the release cycle and if you've got any blockers. Before we can manage releases, DevFulfilled needs to understand your Qlik environment. Using the Qlik APIs, we synchronize your spaces and applications directly from Qlik Sense. We only bring in metadata for your applications from managed spaces that you have either designated either test, pre-prod or production. That means you're always selecting from the applications that already exist in your environment. Instead of maintaining another manual list, you're only bringing in the applications that matter. Once we have your application synchronized, it's time to set up a project. Think of a project as the home for one Qlik application. It brings together your release history, approvals, Git repository, and AI reviews into a single place. Creating a project is straightforward. We simply give it a name, assign it, and then assign an owner to the project. And finally, choose the Qlik application it represents. Once the project has been created, we connect it to a GitHub repository. DevFulfilled stores the exported Qlik metadata alongside your source control history, making every release traceable. We'll show you that a little later on. So let's check out the project overview. We can see who owns the project, our latest activity, and project resources. At the moment, we don't have any current releases. A release is when we've finished our development and we're now looking to promote the application from our test environment to our production environment. This is the key workflow for DevFulfilled, so let's create our first release. Every release has its own home. We can see who's responsible for it, where it is in the process, and everything that's happened so far. From here, the team can monitor progress through development, from development through testing, approvals, and finally deployment. The release overview becomes the central place for everything related to that delivery. Here we can find the current status, activity timeline, release information, and quick access to every stage of the process. We can see who currently owns the release, its current release status, and how long it's been in the pipeline. The pipeline clock starts ticking as soon as you move the status out of draft. Let's assign the release and pop it into UAT. You'll want to get people testing the numbers. You can do this using approvals, which we'll show you in a moment. First though, let's commit our metadata to GitHub. In the Export Metadata tab, we have two options. We can download the text files or commit them straight to GitHub. Currently, we export the scripts, master measures, and dimensions and variables. We can also complete a deep dive object scan. This takes a bit longer to complete as we're looking at each individual object and reading the measure and dimension data from within. This though gives you a complete history of changes between releases, while keeping the process simple for developers. So traditionally, a proper peer review means finding another developer, making time in both diaries, and then spending an hour or two working through the changes together. So what we've done, we've trained a series of AI models to do the first pass automatically. They analyse the metadata, cross-check their findings, and then produce a consolidated review in just a few minutes. Once the metadata has been committed, we can run an AI peer review. The review analyses scripts, measures, dimensions, variables, highlights potential issues, suggesting improvements, and recognising examples of good practice. It's designed to help teams spot things that could be easily missed during a manual review. Oh dear, 58. That's not to one of my better releases. We've got 4 things that really should be fixed before deployment and another 6 that deserve another look. Let's take a look at one of the findings in the script review. We can see the summary looks a lot like the script isn't being used because of an exit script statement. The first suggestion is to remove all the unwanted code, or at least comment it out. It may not be obvious to the casual observer that this part of the script never runs. So what next? Looks like we've got some hard-coded dates for today. Seems a bit strange. What I like here is it gives you the evidence of what it's found, but also gives you suggestions on how to fix it. If we have a look at one of the measures that need reviewing, this has a confidence of 85%. The higher the confidence, the more credence our AI gives to the observation. Here, what it's suggesting makes sense to me, and how Qlik parses the expression. There's definitely a conversation here as to exactly what we're trying to achieve, and perhaps the suggested example replacement is a better way to go. So next we have approvals. We still need human testing and sign-off, although the challenge here is often keeping track of who's looking at what, can they access the application, do they have any questions, and what's their final response. So we can make request approvals from both internal team members and external stakeholders, or guests as I like to call them. So here I'm going to ask Ranjiva to validate the security by ensuring the section access works as expected. Now we can see we have one approval and one's waiting response. So let's log in as Ranjiva. Now Ranjiva is one of our testers, so they don't have access, they have access to all the things that we have. You can see that by the reduced number of options here on the left. What we can see extra is the My Approvals with one action outstanding. If we look at that approval, we can see who requested it, what they would like approving. We have a direct link to the dashboard and a quick way to let the team know if they can't access the dashboard. Their final approval, along with any comments, which is great to have connected with each release. And finally, if they have any questions, they can raise it here. Let's raise a question and ask for a response. So now I'm going to log back in as myself. Now on the release overview, let's see where we are. I've changed status to awaiting approval to better reflect where we are in the cycle. I can see that we have one outstanding approval, and I can also see we have one outstanding note. So let's check it out and answer it. Now back to Ranjiva and approve this release. Great stuff. Everything is captured within the release history to provide a complete audit trail. So that was a quick tour of DevFulfilled workflow. Everything is designed to support a consistent and transparent delivery process. Well, thank you for watching. I hope this has given you a good overview of how DevFulfilled works. If you'd like to explore DevFulfilled yourself, you can create a free account today. The free plan lets you manage one complete project from end to end. You can connect to Qlik Sense, export metadata, commit to GitHub, run AI peer reviews, the whole shebang. You experience a whole complete workload for yourself. So thanks for watching and hope to see you inside DevFulfilled soon.